Hey everyone, this is Tom Birkenmeyer. Has anyone ever told you to find whatever it is that makes you really happy and then to build a life around it? And how does that typically work out? This is just my opinion, but stay with me for a minute and see if this doesn't at least nudge your opinion a little bit further ahead, even if it's not the same as mine. But I think you might find that it excites you and could lead you to a pretty major breakthrough in your life. So that would be worth sticking around for, even a chance at that. Just hear me out for a couple of minutes. So check this out. Instead of doing what mainstream thinking tells us to do, and it sounds really good, but it's instead of finding what makes you happy and building a life around that, find what your purpose is and build a life around that instead. And here's why I say that. I can already see the light bulbs going off. So when you find what makes you happy, that's great. But to build a life around it, that could actually sacrifice your purpose and why you're here and seriously keep you from reaching your potential, whatever that is. If you find your purpose first and build a life around that, then that means you're going to be willing to do things that you necessarily don't want to do, but it's around your purpose, and therefore you're going to be excited about that anyway, even the things that you don't want to do. And people that only want to engage in activities that only makes them happy because they're building a life around what makes them happy, there's nothing wrong with knowing what makes you happy, but to build a life around it means that, by definition, you're willing to sacrifice doing what's right and following your own truth and bringing out your own authenticity because you're only going to do what makes you happy, and which is really self-serving. It satisfies the ego and helps protect it from getting hurt, which doesn't do anything to serve anybody else outside of yourself. So it's actually kind of selfish to live that way, but to have a purpose, to know what it is, and then to build your life around that. And speaking of happiness, I think that's going to make you so much happier, and to know that you're willing to do things that you necessarily don't maybe want to do, but if it's around your purpose, you're going to do it, and you're going to feel pretty good. And then think of the greatest leaders ever that existed in the world. A lot of them, Jesus Christ, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, all of them did things that they did not want to do. They went through persecution. They went through jail. They went through all kinds of things. They didn't want to do that, but they had a purpose. They built their life around it. And I'm not saying you got to go to jail or be persecuted or drag a cross around up a hill with crowns around your head. You don't have to do any of those. You decide. You decide if that's what your purpose is. But I'm telling you, I think you got the point by now. I think I've made my case. So if you're still sticking around listening to me talk about it, I think this is a pretty cool message that needs to be spread around the world. And this whole mainstream thinking, man, it seriously needs to be diminished about doing only what makes you happy and building a life around that. And it doesn't serve anybody. And in the end, you're not going to be nearly as happy as you could have been if you built your life around a really awesome purpose. So do that and talk about that. Spread that message and see if it makes sense for other people. And maybe they might talk about it too. And before you know it, it's a message that is just spreading just by word of mouth instead of big fancy advertising budgets. It's worthwhile. Take care, everyone. If you liked this message, go to my website, tombirkenmeyer.com. Subscribe to my YouTube. I make a lot of videos like this. So if you like this, odds are you're going to like a lot of other videos that I make and blogs that I share. And I've also got on my website, tombirkenmeyer.com, you'll see it when you get there, a list of 31 ways of raising money now without having any money. It's totally free. 31 ways. Find just one or two, which I'm sure you can out of 31. Or maybe you know somebody else who could use that list. And, if it helps somebody get out of debt or put food on the table to feed their family or whatever that's needed, that's a good thing. Take care, everyone. I will see you later when I do my next video or vlog or blog or whatever I'm going to create next, which is coming real soon. Bye.